Hey guys, it is Saturday evening here in the Philippines, so it's time for us to do our free-for-all weekend video, and we are doing a square body Saturday. As you see in front of you, we have over 40 square bodies. Now, granted, we're not going to pick up each one and look at them individually, but we'll look at quite a few of them, some of my favorites, some custom wheel swaps and other things, but just wanted to bring them all out to show you. These are all of my non-chase square bodies. I think I have about 10 or 12 chase, super chase square bodies, Alter Reds, things like that. Also has some Jada square bodies. I did not bring them out either because they're a little bit big for their 1/64th that they claim. They're more like a 160, maybe even 155 scale. So didn't bring them out. Just we have Hotwheels, Autoworld, Greenlight, and M2. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these things. So in the back is where I have all of the higher lifted 4x4s from Greenlight, M2, and Hot Wheels. Those we've already taken a look at in our 4x4 comparison video, so I'm not going to bring them out and show you those individually. If you want to take a look at them, I left a link at the end of the video for the 4x4 comparison, so you can go back and take a look at it to see them up close. Now, the Fall Guy one I just picked up. This one we haven't looked at for a while, so I'll bring him out here and show you guys. This is the only 8-foot bed square body that I kept in my collection. Everything else I've kind of disposed of with the 8-foot beds. I'm just not a long bed, long wheelbase fan. But this truck I am a big fan of. Grew up watching the show and such, so had to have this. They did a pretty good job replicating it. So a very cool piece to have. So that is my only 8-foot bed square body in the lineup. All the others are short boxes. There are a few step sides from M2. I have not obtained any Autoworld step sides yet, unfortunately. So the first two that were launched by Autoworld that started like this square body craze a couple years ago were these two. They released the Slam chassis, and this is the blue and white one with the silver centered, like pro touring style wheels. This is the first, I think this is release A, it may be release B, but anyways, they kind of were released in correspondence. So the yellow one, which is this guy here, was or were your first two square bodies from Autoworld, and they are very nicely done. The only downside is that Autoworld hasn't done any like Slam chassis in the regular retail releases lately. They've all been the 4x4 standard chassis or the lifted like K10s, the big higher lifted chassis, and I haven't seen any of the Slam ones. They've released some in the Mijo lineup, which we do have them. We'll take a look at some of them. We just recently unboxed the Ratfink ones. So this is a really cool casting. As I've pointed out before, the only downside with the Autoworld was the drooping rear wheel opening. And then this one kind of has the, well, no, the bumper looks kind of level, maybe tapered a little bit. But I kind of noticed this, but I didn't point it out in our unboxing the other day with the two latest 81 Chevy Silverados from Autoworld. But Mike Dyson ended up pointing it out to me, so I figured I would mention it. Since he noticed it too, I noticed it. The rear bumper on the new 81s is pretty bad. It may be the trim that makes it look even worse, but the bumper is arched. Let me put down the blue one so I can point this out to you guys. And it's the same on both models. I've even seen other people's posts, and theirs are also drooping down like this on each side. So the bumper is arched. It does look pretty bad. So yeah, just thought I would point that out since it was brought to my attention by another viewer, Mike Dyson. So wanted to go ahead and point it out because I noticed it too. I kind of forgot to mention it. Wasn't going to mention it, but if it's that noticeable in my videos by one of the viewers, it is worth pointing out. So that's the downside of the new one. And also, since we have that new one at the topic right now, as I mentioned, like in the last video, I thought maybe they fixed the wheel opening on the rear of the new one, but as you can see on the passenger side, it still slopes down. It does look like it's squared off a little more than on the older ones, but then again, it may just be the wheel molding that makes it look that way, because I don't see much of a difference. And then on the driver's side, same. It's just maybe when I was telling you guys that it looked like they changed it, it was on that two-tone black and silver. So that may have been the reason that it looks a little better, a little more square, because of the silver and black two-tone. So maybe it takes some emphasis off of the body lines. But anyways, yeah, so they didn't improve that. I thought they did, but they didn't. Still not that bad, though. I will still continue to buy these Autoworld trucks. Love them. But that's the only downside of them. And the lifted ones, I do love these guys. And these ones is really hard to tell because of the lifted suspension and stuff. It's still there, still noticeable. But since the rear tire is so far away from the wheel opening, it's not so transparent. So, dig this. This is usually most people's favorite of the two. I still favor the blue and white one. That is my favorite of the lifted ones. I still need to get some step sides, though. Really do need them. So, here is one of my older squares. This is Hotwheels from the Hot Ones series, where they were trying to mimic the old Blackwall releases with modern castings. So pretty cool casting. One of the very few plastic wheel vehicles I have in my collection. So it's a good one to have, though. And it is all metal casting in this series, the Hot Ones. And then we have another slammed Hot Wheels Chevy. And actually, I forgot to bring one out. I have the Borla exhaust one too, but I forgot to bring him out here for you guys to see. But yeah, there's just so many of them that I couldn't keep track of what I was bringing out and not. I thought I had them all together, but now I just recalled I still had the Borla. I know for sure I have all the Autoworlds out here and all the M2s. The M2s, as you probably noticed, you'll see like 2 black and white ones there, 2 black and white ones here. So I do have a lot of the black and white one because this is actually one of the first M2s released through Mijo. It was this guy and then the Edelbrock. And then I'll try to find the original. There it is. So these two were the first two from Mijo released. This came right after they released the Edelbrock in retail with the stock style Silverado wheels. and then the Mijos. So I have a lot of the first Mijo releases along with the first Super Chases from Mijo. But I love the black and white. I'm not a big fan of the livery, the advertising, and things like that on diecast. But still, Edelbrock's cool. And then all of the other ones that came out, like Moon Eyes, Goodyear, they're all cool. But I'll show you what I did to fix one of the Goodyear ones. But for right now, this is my favorite. Love the black and white. But it wasn't a big fan of the split 5-spoke wheels. So what I did, I bought a bunch of them, like 4 or 5, to do base swaps on. So that's basically what I did. And this is my favorite overall wheel swap with the 5 spokes on it. Love the way this truck looks. This is an Edelbrock chassis. So this is base swapped with the Edelbrock. As you can see, the Edelbrock now has his base. Then we had the Moon Eyes release, and the stock Moon Eyes has black wheels, like so. But I thought the Moon Eyes deserved chrome wheels, so I took a base off of one of the black and white ones and put under the Moon Eyes. I like the chrome wheels a little better on this guy. So the base swap on that one was more intended to favor the Moon Eyes truck. Although it does look good on the black and white, the black wheels. So it doesn't look too bad. And then we did this with the Coca-Cola truck too. So this is your stock Coke with the stock wheels. Looks good. Then base swapped with one of the black and white ones. Looks even better in my opinion. But the black and white one really looks good with the stock style wheels and the slam stands. Really dig that look. I think it looks killer. So, then basically all the others are pretty much Mijo releases from M2 that I have in my collection. I do have a couple of the standard ones, but not so many, like the lifted Desert Fox that we took a look at in the one video of the lifted comparison. Now here's another Mijo, my first step side from M2. And as I said, in my opinion, I think I fixed it by taking the Goodyear off of the door. I like the straight navy blue with the white top. It looks really good. So, still has the Goodyear banner sticker in the rear window. So, it looks pretty good. Still to signify that it is a Goodyear release with that sticker, and then the yellow lettered, like NASCAR style Goodyear tires. So still looks good. They didn't need to put that big badge across the bottom of the door, so I like it much better like that, but I still had to be conservative and keep an original one. Then the only regular chassis release I have is this Coke with the Coke bottle in the bed. And I do have the lifted fleet side coming. It doesn't have the Coke bottle, but it is the Coca-Cola release fleet side with the lifted chassis like the Desert Fox. So we'll have a fleet side to unbox in a couple weeks for you guys of the M2. So anyways, moving along, this one here is from a 2-piece set. It came with the C60 flatbed. This one is pretty popular. I do like the paint job on this one. Favor the chase though with the chrome wheels. So it's actually gold wheels, but it looks really good with chrome or gold wheels. As I said before, I'm not a big fan of the black wheels, but they don't look bad on some cars. Not a big fan of the blacked out hood either. Straight red would have been perfect in my opinion. So anyways, that was from the 2-piece set. Then the only bedless one that I have is the Mijo Speed Shop release. I do have the Super Chase of this guy too. Cool truck. As I pointed out before, they did a heck of a job with the frame. The frame is metal. It's all like square tubed metal, so it is very nicely done. I'm just not a fan of the bedless look. So M2 does a great job on the chassis when they want to. Now the standard release chassis are nothing special like this. They're your typical like mass-produced chassis that is universal. Like as you can see, the insert here is for like standard size tires. That's why you have like that cutout in the chassis where they can insert these plastic things. And then as you can see on this one, it's different. They have the different insert. But when they want to, they can make a really, really nice chassis, as we've seen with the bedless, and we've seen on the 4x4. Once again, beautifully done, and that is all metal too. The leaf springs and everything, so it's very durable and very nicely done. With the drive shafts, transfer case, everything. They did a heck of a job. So, excuse me guys. And then you have your big kahuna back here with his surfboard. And this one usually comes with a surfboard taped to the roof. So if you have one, I would recommend to open it and take that tape off. It may harm your paint eventually. So another wheel swap that I did on an Autoworld that I'm really happy with the way it came out is this guy here. These are Greenlight wheels on an Autoworld truck. Love the way this truck looks. When I was growing up, my dad's buddy had a truck that looked identical to this. Same style wheels, same two-tone paint. So that's why this truck is probably one of my favorites in my collection. This is the way it came stock, with the stock wheels, or rallies with the little dog dish, bow tie, hubcaps, thin white wall tires. Not a bad looking truck, but I think it looks much, much better like this. So one of my favorite customs that I did. And then a lot of these other ones, guys, we've taken a look at in recent videos, so I'm trying to target the ones that we haven't looked at recently. We've just unboxed the drag racing team trucks, I guess you would call them, and then we just unboxed the Ratfinks, and we did the Super Chase on the Ratfink. Not Super Chase, but the regular Ultra Red Chase on this one last weekend, I believe. So a lot of these we have looked at. Then trying to find something else. This one we haven't looked at recently. This is your Sunoco. This was released at the same time as I think the Golf. That's one that I am lacking too, is the Golf Racing Square Body. You do have this Sunoco one, which I think is really cool because they look like NASCAR trucks would have if they made NASCAR trucks in the 80s. This would have probably been exactly what it would have looked like. Because even they did the part with blocking off the headlights with the number 7. So it looks really good. I think they did a terrific job on this, making it look like what a NASCAR truck would have looked like in the 80s. So nicely done by Mijo and Autoworld. Then, let's see here what else I can point out to you guys. I think that's pretty much everything, guys, and we'll just kind of do a overall bird eye perspective on these now. Going back here, looking at the lifted ones. Kind of just giving you an overhead view. Trying to do that anyways. It can't really do too good of like a panoramic view, but trying to give you an overall look at all of them. I think there's 41 or 42 of them out here. And as I said, you'll see a lot of doubles, especially in the M2 stuff, but they're not the same. They're base swapped, wheel swapped, whatever you'd like to call it. And it is something that I like to do with the M2s because of the screwed down chassis. That's one thing great about the M2s. So guys, this is my Square Body Saturday. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's any that you've seen that I didn't give you a look at that you'd like to see in the future videos, please let me know and I'll bring it back and show you guys. Here's one I may have overlooked, the Holly. This is a cool truck. Like the wheel, the gold, brushed gold finish of the wheels, and the paint job is okay. I just am more in favor of the wheels on it than anything else. But the paint job, I guess, is only for certain people. But not a bad looking truck. The Chase looks better, honestly, because it has chrome bumpers, well, gold bumpers, but looks a little better. So that's the only other one I could think of that maybe I passed up that we haven't recently looked at. So I left the icon here for the 4x4 comparison of square bodies so you could check it out and get a better look at some of the lifted square bodies that I have in our overall comparison. Then I left an icon here on the right for you to subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to do so. Please give me a thumbs up and please share the video. We will be back on Monday with an unboxing of the first Melling cars from Hot Wheels for 2021. So we'll be taking a look at the Raptor and the Power Wagon, taking them out of their packages and get a close-up spin around 360 to look at them. So be sure to tune back in for that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.